I helped my cousin's sister with her career. In return, she decides to backstab me in the craziest way possible. My name's Mr. Reddito, guys. I was itching to record a video. I haven't recorded a video in like 5 days because, well, I'm recovering from the Omicron variant, and as you can probably tell, my voice is shot. It's recovered a little, but I just couldn't sit back and not make a video. So here we go, guys. Here's today's video, and I hope everyone's enjoying their day. I'm a 33-year-old male, and until recently, I was living with my girlfriend. We ended things, and I was alone for a while. We were living in my apartment, so she moved out. I come from a family where everyone knows everyone's business, so I was not surprised when family members reached out after the breakup. It was mostly just my siblings who were there for me. However, the last person I expected to hear from was my cousin Sophie, who's 22. Sophie and we were cool but not very close. She told me she was also going through a rough patch, and she sympathized with me. I thanked her, but I wasn't really comfortable talking with her about stuff like that. We spoke a bit more, and she told me how she did not have a job and was struggling to make ends meet. She had a few days to get out of her apartment before they kicked her out. Then, she asked if I could stay with her and help her while she's looking for a job. I was not a fan of the idea because we were not close, so it would be sort of weird to live together. I also wanted my own space after my breakup. And besides, I only had one bedroom in my apartment. I asked her why she couldn't move in with her mom, but she said that in that area where her mom lived, it's difficult to find a job. No one else in the family had space for her in the house. As much as I wanted to help her, she was still young and a bit wild, so I did not think our personalities would match. There were also rumors about her. I heard them through the grapevine, but I had no idea if they were true. We weren't in the same age group, and it's been nearly 2 years since I saw her. But I did feel sorry for her and allowed her to stay for a month only. Of course, with a few rules. She said she did not mind crashing on the couch, but I had a tiny spare room for when my parents visit. She was really struggling, and I would have felt guilty if she had to be on the streets. She did not have the easiest life, so I really thought she wanted to get her life in order. She had to help out around the house and not bring lots of people over, as I have valuable stuff here. She also had to be mindful about the volume after 10 o'clock, as some neighbors would complain. She agreed and told me that I would not even notice she's there. So for over 3 months, she applied for job after job and went to many interviews. Unfortunately, some companies did not want her because of her lack of experience, and she only had a high school certificate. We were getting along fairly well. I helped her out with money to buy things that she needed, for emergencies. I've been working at this company for over 5 years and have a good position. I'm also friends with a lot of managers and people in HR. I asked them just to let me know if there was a position in any department. For 3 months, there was nothing, and she kept on applying to different jobs. I know I had agreed to let her stay for only a month, but I couldn't just kick her out. It was better for her to stay at my place than have to resort to other means to get a place to stay. I could see that she was depressed when she did not have a job. Then, one day, I heard of an entry-level post in another department. So, I texted her and told her to drop off her CV. She was eager to work, so I thought if she got the job, then she would be able to do it. She was successful in her interview and they hired her. When she had a stable job, I let her stay for longer. But the plan was for her to contribute all the bills to find her own apartment. She was okay to live with, and I would not have minded her as a roommate for a while, but What they say about money changing people is true. In the first month, she did not even contribute to the food. What she did do, however, was come home with lots of shopping bags. She bought expensive clothes, bags, etc. I asked her about it, and she said that she did not have any decent clothes. By the middle of the month, she was broke. The following month, she bought a phone on credit. I knew because I was there when the phone arrived. It was one of the most expensive phones on the market, but I wasn't going to judge her. I dropped a few hints about her contributing, and she said, next month. It went like this for several months, with her not contributing to rent. She spent her money on alcohol and things she did not need. Not only that, but she had also started to be very scruffy in the house. She would not clean up after herself and would complain about fatigue most of the time. It was like I was living with an immature teenager. I was getting sick of it. I was doing her a favor, but it's turned into her freeloading off me. Every time I said something, she would apologize and talk about how difficult her life was. She would also tell me stories about her mom needing money for stuff, and let me not get started about her excessive partying. She suddenly had all these new friends who wanted to hit the clubs with her. And then she started dating this guy who looked kind of shady. He had gold chains, expensive shoes, etc., and was always buying her expensive gifts. She was my cousin, so a part of me went into big brother mode when she started dating him. I have had enough and ended up asking her if she was ever going to contribute. She asked why she would. I was family and she was struggling. I told her that maybe if she was not so focused on buying designer clothes and bags, she would have more money. She made the excuse that she was not getting paid much and was helping out her mom. I told her I was not expecting thousands of dollars, but she could at least help, even with food. I was not running a charity and she was getting a good salary. I had my own expenses to deal with and was getting very tired of taking care of a grown woman. She was basically freeloading on me and giving me nothing in return except for stress. She got very upset with me and said she was going to move out since I clearly did not want her there. In all honesty, I did not want her in my house anymore. She was lazy, came home at whatever time she wanted, and ate a lot without even paying for nothing. I never should have invited her to my house. Like I said earlier, news travels at the speed of light in my family. My aunt was confused as to why I kicked her out. I explained to her what her daughter's done. She told me that would be my fault if anything happened to her. I did not want to argue with her and my mom told her off. So that matter sort of ended that way. I do follow her on social media, and there was where I found out that she moved in with that creepy boyfriend of hers. It seemed like she was leeching off him now. I just hoped she would not end up hurt. She was a misguided little girl and her mother let her get away with too much. It was just so sad to see. I moved on with my life after she was gone. We never spoke again. I barely saw her, as we worked in different departments, and when I did, we didn't even speak. The last time I spoke to her was when she had packed her stuff and left my house. About a few months later, I noticed something strange. I did not always check my accounts, and I was not getting millions, but I did have some money saved up. So I was very surprised when I noticed that one of my accounts had a negative $500 balance. Mind you, I never go into the negatives, and if I did, it was never to such an extent. The last balance that was in the account months ago was not what I was seeing. I called the bank to inquire about what's going on. I often heard stories about people's bank accounts being compromised, but I never thought it would happen to me. The bank let me know that I had made the withdrawals and purchases relating to the account. but they would do an investigation. I do not know why I suddenly thought of Sophie. I realized that I never asked for the key to my apartment back. Had she been the one who stole my card? Because no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find it. I could not believe that I've been so stupid not to notice. I was also mad because I never got the message relating to transactions on my card. It was clear that she's probably taken advantage of the incompetence of the bank and cleaned me dry. I reported the card as missing. I started to look through my apartment and see if there was anything else missing. Well, around $500 in emergency cash I kept gone. Mainly because I was always paranoid that something could happen. I kept it in a bag in my room, but when I checked, nope, gone. At this point, I was having a heart attack. I had all my other cards, but I was not taking any chances. I requested statements for all my accounts. And when I checked my work card, which was only for work, $3,000 missing. The little girl had really screwed me over. I did not know when she's done this, but I suspected that she had somehow hacked or stolen my account info. It would make sense that her shady boyfriend was behind it also. Who knew how many times he's been at my house and what they could have taken? Either way, I wasn't having any of it. I called her, sent her text messages telling her to bring back my money. She did not respond to any of them, but her boyfriend did. So I went over to her place so I could talk to her. We had a big argument when I was there. She pretended that she's not stolen anything. She said I was accusing her because she was poor and had a bad history. Her boyfriend came in when we were arguing and told me to leave his girl alone. I told him I was not leaving without my money. Remember when I said he gave me bad vibes? Well, this guy took out a knife and threatened to kill me if I ever came close to them again. I left, but I was not going to let it go. I felt betrayed. I'd helped her out when she was down and out, and now she's stealing from me? I told her if she did not pay, I would go to the police and tell them everything. Well, she got a bit scared. I guess she thought I've been scared off by the boyfriend of hers, but she was so wrong. She told me that she did not want him to get involved. She would give me the money in a week. By then, I've already told all the family members what happened. I simply did not know who else to turn to. If there was anyone who could force her to give me my money back, it was them. But as usual, her mother defended her and said that she was struggling. I was just making a big deal out of peanuts when I was earning a lot more money. My parents, on the other hand, were not having it, and my mom ended up arguing with her. Anyways, after about a week, Sophie was still not answering my calls. I had to explain to my superiors why there was a charge of $3,000 on my work card. Imagine how embarrassing it was to admit I had been conned by a family member. They fired her because of it, by the way. Still, she's not returned my money, and I was considering laying a charge of theft against her. I'd given her so many opportunities to give me my money back. She's not even offered to set up a payment plan. Well, about a week later, I spoke to her. I opened the door to find the police there. They were arresting me for rape. Could you imagine how confused I was? I would never do such a thing to anyone. I asked the cops what's going on, and they told me that Sophie came to the police station to report a charge saying I sexually abused her. Absolutely false. I explained to the officers, but I got the speech about anything I say being held against me, blah, blah, blah. Well, because it was a weekend, I had to stay in there until Monday, which was just my luck. I used my one phone call to call my dad to let him know what was going on. He told me that she was bruised and said that I raped her after she did not repay me my money. My parents obviously did not believe I could do it, but everyone else believed her. Luckily, my dad managed to get a lawyer who began working on my case. See, she thought she was smart and just ripped up her clothes and called the police, saying that I raped her. It was so easy for the judge to throw out her case in court. All she had was her boyfriend who said that I had been there at the place that week and I was upset. But her story had a lot of gaps, like what time it happened. She said it happened at 6 p.m., but I get off work at 6:30, and there was proof from work that I've been there. I gave the evidence of our text, which showed that I've not spoken to her in over a week. But between her and her boyfriend were text messages where they were discussing the best option to, quote, get rid of me. It was clear she was lying, despite what she was saying, so it was declared that her boyfriend was the one who hit her. I was let go of the charges, but the ordeal had a huge impact on my life. I was nearly fired from my job because of her. I do not know what would have happened if she'd had a bit of a smarter plan. The whole family was there to witness, which took less than a few days for the case to be solved. She did get off better than what I felt she deserved. As a first-time offender, she got 3 months of community service. Her boyfriend only got a month. There was no concrete evidence that she stole the money, so she did manage to get away with it. Unfortunately, after the case, there was a family meeting. The sad part was that in spite of getting caught in a lie, she really did not let go of the lie. She kept on insisting that I had bought off the judge and I sexually abused her. But with all the evidence presented in court, it was clear beyond any doubt that she was straight lying. They apologized to me and said that they wanted to solve the conflict between us. Her mother insisted that I owed them money for compensation. She always had this massive influence over the family members' decision, but this time, everything changed. They told Sophie that she had to apologize to me for what she's done and start paying me back ASAP. She, of course, said that she was the one telling the truth. Everyone agreed that they did not want her to be a part of the family now, or ever to attend any gatherings. So they pretty much disowned her. She said that she did not care about our family because she now has a boyfriend who takes care of her. The same boyfriend who looks like he robs people for a living. Either way, she was completely removed herself from everyone's life. The last time I heard about her, she's currently staying with her boyfriend and is unemployed. Her mom is the only member of the family who stays in contact, but I've since moved on with my life and accepted that I cannot get my money back. I guess this is what you get for trying to help an ungrateful person. Whew. In all honesty, guys, I think OP came out on top of this situation. Yes, OP ended up losing a lot of money, but at least OP finally knows who that cousin really is. I'm so glad that the family disowned her as well. Let me know exactly what you guys think of this story in the comment section down below. If you're not subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button so you never miss a story. I hope everyone has an amazing night, and I'll catch you in the next one.